Hi, I'm Katie Pratt, graduate of the University of North Dakota in 2020 December. So I'm currently working at UPS in the Flight Path internship program, and happy to be back in Grand Forks.
My name is Morgan Rodriguez. I am in the QA office for the UPS Flight Path internship.
So I graduated from the University of North Dakota with a degree in commercial aviation. I just finished up my double I and 480 when I found out about this internship and that I was going to be moving to Louisville. So the Pathway program is a great opportunity to find out more about cargo and a way to really get a pathway to UPS, as the name suggests. It's a lot different, I think, from a lot of other pathway programs, whereas they kind of give you a pathway with mentors, and you get to spend a year to working in the management offices at UPS. It's a really great opportunity, I think, to see the backside of the airline, a thing where I think you don't get in a lot of other pathway programs.
Definitely. My path is a little bit different. I graduated college with a degree in civil engineering, and 6 months later decided I wanted to fly. I found out about the program through a family friend and applied, and just happy to be here, really. I work in the quality assurance department in the flight training center, so I see a lot of the data that has to do with the training, and I think it's an awesome opportunity just not to see, what runs the airline, but what keeps the pilots trained properly, and all the logistics that goes into dealing with the FAA and all that.
I think one of the coolest parts about the internship is when they interview us and they're deciding where they want to put us. They really do treat it like they were hiring us full-time, not just for an internship. They find the best office that we fit into and really find the best place where we're going to fit in. I love working with people, talking, obviously, for anybody who knows me. And I think that for me, working in the chief pilot office, where I get to work on and off with different pilots with different issues and really see how the inner workings of the personal side of an airline work, and disciplinary things, obviously things you don't want to have to deal with, but it's really cool to be a part of that team and to get to work to where you're actually a very important part of that team as well. We aren't just, like you said earlier, we aren't just fetching coffee, but part of the job, of course, but we really do play an integral part of UPS and keeping that airline running. At least that's what they tell us.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Not even just seeing the people and all the different people you work with, the logistics that go into training and training everyone that, keep them current. And I think that really helps mold us for the future. If I go out and, decide to just be a line pilot, I definitely will affect how I handle day-to-day operations, and knowing all the steps that it takes to get to me in that seat, whether it's just training, logistics now with COVID, and just currency and all that. I think it's a really, really cool opportunity to see, like Katie said, the backside of the operation and get an appreciation for what goes on every day.
And really making those relationships, getting to work with the members of our team, the people who guide us, they're really molding us into professionals. I think, we all come out of whatever our respective paths are to get to the airlines or to whatever job we're looking to do. We all come out of college, or however we get there, a little bit rough rough around the edges, a little bit raw. And I think that getting this opportunity to work with these people who are professional pilots, they work day in and day out, doing the job, working the line, and we get the opportunity to see that operation and to take their experiences and learn from them. Like, we get a mentor, and one of the really cool things is when we get finished up with our internship, we will get to pick a mentor, and that mentor is able to tell us and help us guide us through, working at Ameriflight and advise as well.
Yeah, like Katie said, we're a little rough around the edges when we, first start. And I really view it as like a year-long interview. We're there day in, day out with the people that will one day, be doing our interview as a first officer for UPS, hopefully. So, we start out, like Katie said, a little rough, and then hopefully they help us polish into this pilot they want to work with for the next 20 years. And I think that's really a really cool opportunity to be like more than just a name on a page. Like, we're going to see Morgan, and it'll be like, oh yeah, that's that intern that was always eating, or she was really helpful in this situation, or she's really funny, because of course.
Absolutely.
But just the little things.
Yeah, and as far as a lot of people have questions about, what are our feelings about going to a Ameriflight? How do we think that's going to, affect us? And how do we think that's going to be as our next step? Obviously, there's a lot of unknown going from, not really knowing, but I think that goes with any airline job, anywhere you start. There's always a lot of unknown. But I think that the one thing's for sure is that we're going to be having a lot of time to, become a good stick and to really understand how that training process works and to really fly in a lot of scenarios that we personally, I haven't flown in, the type of weather that we're going to fly in or, the different experiences and that we're going to get in Ameriflight, I think are, part of none.
Yeah, it'll definitely help us grow as a pilot. The internship portion is to help us grow as professionals. And I think that kind of gets us ready to be professional pilots at Ameriflight and really polish our skills there. It's mostly single pilot IFR flying, which is, can be kind of stressful. But, once you get past that and get to, the smoother, bigger planes, then it's, all these things that you can say you did and kind of survived, Yeah, I'm stoked for Ameriflight. It's going to be an awesome experience and opportunity to really, fly the plane and get in these situations probably wouldn't get into otherwise.
Yeah. Some other questions I think that we've been asked today specifically are, do you instruct while you're living down in Louisville or Anchorage? One thing, there's 11 positions down in Louisville, 1 position in Anchorage, and so they kind of, like we said, place you in the office that they think you'll fit best in. But most people come into this internship with between 500 to 700 hours. Maybe there's no requirement for hours, so it can be less, but that's kind of the baseline as to where competitively to be competitive to be hired right now. But the majority of us flight instruct down, I think all of us actually flight instruct down in Louisville. There's plenty of jobs flight instructing. Kind of one of the cool parts is there's a lot of exchange, like people ending their internships will then go to Ameriflight, and so the position opens up at the flight schools down there, so we're able to flight instruct.
Yeah, there's tons of instructing jobs open. I currently work with more students now than I did when I was full-time instructing. I was instructing full-time during COVID, of course, so a little give and take. It is very busy. You're constantly going, constantly instructing or have a student, or last weekend I helped with a charity to pull a 757 for the Special Olympics in Kentucky, which was really cool. But it was just, went right from there to instructing a student. So, just staying busy and, just meeting people and building the resume and having these experiences you probably wouldn't get otherwise is pretty cool.
Some of the cool things about the internship, other than just getting to work in these management offices, we also have the opportunities to work to fly all the simulators. We can go if we have free time in our day and have nothing to do and the simulators are open, we can go fly them. It's just a great opportunity as far as like learning how the boxes work, learning how the FMCs work, things that we haven't experienced before flying just turbine aircraft in general. And as far as also having jump seat privileges.
Yeah, that's how we got here.
So that's exactly how we got here today. So it's really great opportunities as far as that goes. Back to the flight instructing, I think that one of the most interesting things for me was coming from UND, where I flew all glass cockpit and going to instructing Part 61 in all steam gauge airplanes. And it might seem a little scary at first, but those are the experiences that are going to make, great pilots eventually and really make for great learning experiences and fun experiences. So I think that everything, as far as I'm concerned, I think that the best part about this internship has been the adventure. I think it's a never-ending adventure. I learn something new every single day. I have opportunities to shadow in different offices and different jobs all around UPS and meet people around UPS all the time. And one of the big things that Dan said as well earlier was that UPS really does operate like a family. It's a big airline, but it's a small airline. So, we have few pilots and everyone, works together to get the job done, and we're doing really important work. So it's great to be a part of that.
Yeah, I know it's a family. And just, it's somewhere, the internship has met every expectation that I've had. Didn't really know what to expect, but I came in hoping to meet people, really understand what goes on in the airline, learn something new, like Katie said, almost every day, and really just has met every expectation and more. And I've never lived outside the state of Florida before, and I moved to Kentucky this year, and even the area is super nice, and there's tons to do and ton of people. There's always some UPSer like looking out and like, hey, do you look a little homesick? Do you want a homemade meal? Or, there's this to do this weekend. It's just always something to do, always someone to help, and always, there's a ton of people with planes out there to meet and fly with and get some totally new experiences.
Say, final thoughts. It's so great to be part of a program that's given us so many great opportunities, and I'm looking forward to see what the future holds.
Very much so.